the dam and spillway. We will bring you more as we continue our coverage of the Oroville Dam spillway failure.
All right, everybody, we'll be switching over right now over to, hold on 1 second. We'll be switching, which I'll be putting on your screen right now. There is no audio coming from their broadcast at this moment. Hold on, let me double check. There is audio coming from their broadcast.
To draw down by another 10 feet. So that means that water is going to come out of the regular spillway there on the right side of the screen probably all week long at least 50 and maybe as much as 100 as they continue to draw this thing down. Because yes, we do have more active weather on the way later on this week. How much rain we may see in the Feather River Basin remains to be seen, and how much inflow we might start to see again. But I think they just want to get between now and, let's say, Thursday to draw that level down as much as they can. But I can't see any scenario where they're going to stop letting water go down the regular spillway anytime soon.
And not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but this next rain system, I mean, is significant amounts, or we're just too far out to tell still?
Well, you know, I'm going to let Dirk answer that, because Dirk's been looking at the models closer than I have been today.
Yeah, we're looking at a series of systems right now. The forecast has that we have the first one coming in on Thursday, and then expect to have the next little one coming on Friday. The first one, we could see between a half an inch to an inch of rain, and you translate that. That's for Sacramento. Now, you translate that into the foothills, and you're talking several inches of rainfall. And so from just the first system, we're going to get a significant amount of rain in the mountains and the hills that, of course, feed into the Oroville Reservoir. And then beyond that, we have another system, like I said, on Friday. Then we have another one coming in on Sunday and Monday. And so there's these storms that are lining up. And so we are looking at the possibility of having a very similar amount of water that we did with the 3 systems that came in this past week that we had that caused a lot of this.
So, well, Dirk, let me ask you. So, again, you've looked at the stuff tonight more than I have earlier today. It looked like they might be a little bit colder than last time. So instead of, I mean, what do you think the snow levels will be? Because that's an important factor.
That is an important factor. And the first system coming through on Thursday, it looks like snow levels will be more than likely 6,000 to 7,000 feet. After that, they drop down closer to 5,000 to 6,000 feet. And so we do have some colder air with those second wave, third wave, fourth wave that's coming through. The first one, though, still looks a little warm. But so we won't have all the runoff and the snow melt that we had with this last system where it was so warm. But we are still expecting to have a lot of water with this. So even though we don't have the snow melt happening, we are going to still have a lot of water coming down the hill.
Right, but Gulston, you know, just to compare though, last week between I think Sunday and Friday, the Feather River Basin had anywhere between 12 to 18 inches of rain over the course of that week. So foot and a half of rain, plus we had snow melt. So that contributed to the huge inflows we saw for an extended period of time. So that's part of what got us into the problem here, that we saw the levels come up and then the spillway got broken. It's just been a domino effect. But if this next time the snow levels are lower, then that would reduce the amount of snow melt. So the inflows wouldn't be as high. But still, as I was saying, you know, it doesn't sound like there's going to be a scenario where we're going to stop seeing water come down the regular spillway, the broken spillway, anytime soon.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much. We do have we want to go back to the news conference. We have a sound bite that we want you to hear.
When I was advised of this hole that had formed, the engineers and experts from the Department of Water Resources advised that the hole was eroding back towards the face of the alternate/emergency spillway at a rather significant rate. They estimated that it would reach the face of that within about an hour. And beyond that, there was significant concern that it would compromise the integrity of the spillway, resulting in a substantial release of water.
So that was a quick bite of that news conference that we just watched with DWR, also folks there from CAL FIRE, a lot of different emergency services obviously working together in this. They are assessing the situation by the hour. They have local and federal safety engineers on scene working on this problem. But again, what he was explaining there is why they called that emergency evacuation, because they just didn't know how serious that erosion was, if the spillway could in fact fail. We've got all sorts of problems.
But here's the updates for that 211 information. This will help keep 911 free except for emergency calls, and that is very important at this time. If you're not sure about locations, go to our website, krcrtv.com. We're trying to keep everything updated to the minute. We're getting quite a bit of information, and you can see the 211 updates there as we are hoping to get Corey Honey. Jeremy, he's checking some of the latest levels. Now, we did hear in the press conference they're continuing to basically push as much water, let as much water as they can. They cannot control the amount of water going over that auxiliary spillway. We know that. So 100,000 cubic feet a second. We don't need any more going in, but snow melt is certainly having an effect on that, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's right, Brent. I just checked some of the latest numbers from the California Data Exchange Center, where you can track the levels at Lake Oroville hourly. Finally, since we've increased those outflows to 100,000 CFS, this is twice as much as what's coming into the lake. So we're going to see levels already start to drop. In fact, we are now just over a half a foot above where that emergency spillway is at. That's at an elevation of 101 of water to actually let those lake levels subside. When you're filling things up, it doesn't take that much water to initially fill it up, but as you get closer and closer to the top, you need a lot more. Well, it's going to be in the reverse as far as draining it. You have to get rid of a lot of water before you see a decent drop. Of course, the lower you go, the easier those results will become. And one of the reasons why that flash flood warning is definitely still in effect through 4:15 Monday afternoon. So here's Oroville. Here's the Feather River. Let me go ahead and move out of the way. Here is the dam. This is where all the water is going to be flowing as we go through the next day or so. What's happening is water will find the lowest spot, and it will go wherever it wants to go. You can't really block it. So as you start going through the Feather River, most of that is going to fan out from there. We heard earlier that areas around the river are the most prone to flooding, and if you have to evacuate, definitely head to a higher elevation. If you can go above 900 feet, which is the elevation of the lake, you'll be in a good position. But while we're dry right now, we're only seeing runoff, all attention is going to switch back over to our next storm system that could make this a whole nother issue as we go later into the week. You can see with Precision Cast already by Thursday night, that's the first wave that works its way through. A very unsettled pattern will be persisting, just like what we finished up. So this is the break right now. The next wave works its way through for late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even for the following weekend. It's still tough a little to tell just how much rain we could get out
right now. So you can see there's big, huge lines to get in. Everybody trying to get on the road and head south to safer places.
Yes, definitely. So hopefully I can make it down to the next gas station, get some diesel, and make it safely. I got my family behind me and the other cars. So
how about your pets?
The pets are with my
Hey, Mike,
wife.
tell you what, hang on just a second. Sorry to interrupt. We'll be right back to Mike in a second. We do have some new information that we need to get to our viewers.
Well, we're getting something in from Butte County Sheriff. So do we have information from our producers?
Okay, we're going to listen in on this actually, guys.
We've additionally stood up another incident management team, similar to the one that I have here with me. And that one will be assisting and based out of Red Bluff. So they will be coordinating and assisting this team as well. Both the director and deputy director of CAL FIRE are here not here at this location, but are in Sacramento at the Operations Center to assist and coordinate efforts from a regional perspective as well, to assure I get the resources as well as the sheriff gets the resources that they need to be effective in mitigating the emergency or the incident that we are faced with right now. Thank you.
So at this point, and again, I realize we've had some additional media outlets come in, and certainly I hope this is working for what you need, but I want to speak to my community as well, right? That's what's important tonight. And so we have Eric C., who is with the Department of Water Resources. We've been working closely with him for the last couple of days to try to really understand the situation. And I think that one of the concerns with the standard spillway or the normal spillway, when it became damaged, was erosion back towards the dam. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Can you update us on where we're at with that?
Yes. So the Sheriff Honey explained most of the information I was going to provide, but we have a head cut situation on just downstream of the auxiliary spillway. That's a similar type of erosion feature that we had on the main spillway. The erosion feature on the main spillway, the head cut, even with these increased flows, last information I had was that it hadn't moved, so it was still in the same location. Let's see,
and that's a good thing, folks.
Yes.
That's a good thing, because that will allow, correct me if I'm wrong, but that will allow us to continue to release water through the regular spillway.
Exactly.
At the rate that we are, correct?
Yes, and the reason to do that is to lower the lake very quickly, to get it off of that auxiliary spillway, because what was causing the head cut was the water going over and eroding. So if we can get it down and get it off, we shut the water flow off. So you stop the force that was creating the erosion. So that was the first thing that we wanted to do. And we're going to keep it going down also to reduce the amount of pressure that's pushing on the auxiliary spillway structure. So that's the plan right now. I came up here. The engineers were all down the hill. I mean, I'm not seeing any of the DWR folks in this room, so I know they're all down there right now working on it. So I don't have any more information than when I left in my car to come up here to do this press conference or to speak with you. So I believe we're having another press conference or briefing at 9 o'clock, and we may have more information at that time.
So just like we mentioned outside, now's the time for you to ask questions. All we ask is that we do it one at a time to give an opportunity, and then just please, which question if you have, just who you're addressing it to, sir.
I noticed this summer that there was a lot of that you been working out along the river from Larkin all the way towards, roads and probably further down. Was that because this purpose, because they were already going to do something like this? Or, I mean, anybody that's living along the river, should they evacuate also? I mean,
yes.
Because all the waters are coming down.
They're part of this evacuation order, but I will say that that's a project by the Sutterview Flood Control Agency. It's one of the many, 10 or 15 years